How's it going, YWC, IWC? Guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews. Impact Wrestling review. Now, this show, I'm not going to say it was a decline in quality. It just was... I'm not going to say it was a decline in entertainment because certain parts of the show were very entertaining. It just... Something didn't click with this show. It was nothing to really make me jump out of my seat. Yes, I know the main event happened with Rosemary and Taya, but even that, it just really did nothing for me. Not a bad show. It was just the spark. Like I said, the spark was missing from this show. So, starts out with Eli Drake coming out with his 2 briefcases, cutting a promo. Eli Drake on the microphone. Just shoving listen. The man's golden on the microphone. Even knows that as a heel, he doesn't want the crowd cheering for him. He tells the crowd to shut the hell up. He doesn't need them cheering for him. He doesn't need him cheer. You know what I'm trying to say. He doesn't need their cheers because he already knows how great he is. And he says that he's found a tag team partner. Out comes LAX. And LAX, well, Conan. Conan is, basically saying, look, who the hell did you find to be your tag team partner? I really can't believe that because nobody likes you in the back. And internet explodes in 3, 2. Scott Steiner. Yeah, that's right. Scott freaking Steiner is Eli Drake's tag team partner. Now, when I read this like yesterday or whatever, the day before Impact came on, I was like, Eli Drake and Scott Steiner. That's got to be like some kind of typo because how would they work out? But then you think about it, if they're going to put Scott Steiner in Adonis's role, it has potential to be very good, especially when things like this happen, giving Scott Steiner a live microphone. Look, I know Scott Steiner's promo is supposed to be terrifying and like really serious, but they're not. They're absolutely entertaining and scary at the same time. Like it's like, what's this man talking about? Why the hell we give him a live mic, but keep giving him the live mic? Scott Steiner says that, look, at this stage of my career, people only call me when somebody else needs to get beat up. So I'm going to beat you guys up, take the tag team titles, and it was something else. It was some other Scott Steiner linguistics or whatever, as Conan said. So Conan, he basically said, look, I don't know why you're here. You don't look hungry enough. You look kind of out of shape. Are you here for a payday? You're just an old guy. You're not, you don't have it, man. You team with Eli Drake. You're going against some guys that have been tag teaming for 6 years. Wow, Conan. They've been tag teaming for 6 years, but yet we don't know anything about these guys other than the fact that they're Latino. It would have been nice to have some backstory on these guys to know that they've been tag teaming for 6 years and everything like that. But hey, just throwing on people out of the blue. Who the fuck cares? I mean, whatever. So it's gonna be Eli Drake, Scott Steiner versus LAX. Now I'm very conflicted about this because, for one, look, you know how I feel about part-timers, old guys taking away spots from new guys. But then again, it's Scott Steiner on the microphone in that kind of a role. It's kind of hard to pass. So yeah. And then they may win the tag team titles, but LAX have kind of been dry and stale and boring. And so putting the tag team titles on Scott Steiner and Eli Drake, not only would you have Eli Drake's promos as a champion, but Scott Steiner's promos as a champion, that's kind of hard to pass up. I mean, I would like to see that. And also, I would like to see the internet type of way about Impact giving the belt to an old guy. They keep doing this all the... Oh my God. And Scott Steiner cutting promos about that shit. I'm salivating. I'm salivating right now just thinking about that. Let me get that. Yeah, I'm gonna need Eli Drake and Scott Steiner to win those tag team championships ASAP. And then you have, moving right along. Oh, what was it? Oh, they had a recap. Rose, nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to see Rosemary. I mean, not like that, but nobody. It's hard for me to care about these recaps when they're recaps on a live, a weekly television show recap, especially like recaps of like 2-year-old matches. Like, give them time to digest. I don't need to see this now. I love Rosemary, but I did not need to see this. Then you had Moose versus Sami Callihan, aka The Draw. Decent match. I mean, it was a lot of strong style stuff in here. I especially love the part when Callahan has Moose down to like a knee and he's punching him and giving him chops, and Moose is like, nope, Moose, nope, Moose, and like just completely no selling it, showing how tough he is or whatever. And I always thought this match would have been, you know, even though it wasn't a hardcore, like a strong style type of way, I would have thought it would have gotten a lot worse. I mean, Callahan and OVE cost the Moose basically a world title opportunity, and this, I would have guessed Moose would have came out here with a little bit more of a hardcore like type of style, but whatever. So the match ends with Sami Callihan completely losing his cool and hitting Moose with a baseball bat, and Eddie Edwards comes out for the save. He gets his ass beat up. Then Alicia Edwards comes out to make the save for Eddie, and Callahan, being the vile heel that he is, he says that he's gonna hit Alicia with the Eddie Edwards' wife with a bat. Lights go out, and look, the lights go out. I'm thinking it's gonna be somebody. Who could it be? Could it be Davey? Could it be Abyss? Could it be a new hardcore wrestler from Ohio? I mean, imagine if Desmond Xavier had showed up here, like to go against the Ohio guys. Like, oh, it's Tommy Dreamer. Okay, when he takes out the entire OVE with a kendo stick. Okay, I'm getting a bad feeling about that. And then Dreamer says that it's going to be Moose, Eddie, and Dreamer versus OVE at Redemption in a House of Hardcore match. So hopefully this is the blow-off match between Eddie and Sami. I still believe they probably should have kept Eddie off TV for like months. Eventually have Sami win the world title and then have a feud like that. But for what it looks like, they aren't going in that direction at all. This how you're going to use Moose like in a pay-per-view? Moose and Eddie in a 6-man tag with Dreamer versus OVE. Moving on, because that makes me sad a little bit on the inside, because I don't see that helping anybody. Oh man. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, you have Josh Matthews versus Petey Williams, and it went exactly how you would think it would have gone, with Josh as a heel going up against Petey Williams, running around, letting Matt Sydal get sneak attacks in. And look, everybody was looking forward to Josh Matthews getting a Canadian Destroyer. It didn't happen, and you got to see a more aggressive side of Matt Sydal. I can't remember the last time. Has Matt Sydal ever done like the cross chops to anybody? That's the first time I ever seen him like do that to somebody. And then he's choking Petey Williams with that thick ass jacket, like that workman's jacket. So, yeah, that's a very devastating choke. Uh, and look, here's the thing. I really want Matt Sydal to retain because it seems like he hasn't really gotten his full healness on with this gimmick. And look, the X Division, it needs prestige rebuilt. You just can't have a guy hold the title for 2 months and then, like, drop it just because of some bullshit. Ishimori, he did good. He was a good fighting champion. But as far as character and storyline, where was it? You have something now with Matt Sydal. A new Matt Sydal. The inner spirit animal Matt Sydal. Let that happen. Look, I understand. Petey Williams, it's a nice return story. No. Petey Williams, in no way, shape, form, or fashion, should win the X Division title from Matt Sydal when he's just now getting the gears rolling on his new gimmick. And then you have this. I'll talk about that in the Redemption, Impact Redemption predictions video. So, yeah, anyway, that happened. Sydal beats up Petey Williams and leaves the ring. Then you have a promo segment with Brian Cage talking about the victories he's done and like who he's beating up, and basically it was sort of like a send off of Lashley. It was like, he beat Lashley once, and then they had the thing of him beating him twice, and then Lashley leaving, blowing kisses to the crowd. It's like Bobby Lashley will make your ass famous. Basically passing the strongman torch to Brian Cage. A nice little thing. And then moving on, you have a 6-man tag match between the Cult of Lee, KM versus Tyrese Falaba and Richard Justice. Look, let me say this. This was not a good match in the way it was structured. Look, Falaba, Richard Justice, and Tyrese, this match did nothing for them because it didn't play to their strengths. You're basically just putting them together because they're fat. That doesn't help anybody. And Richard Justice, he can wrestle. He's a good promo cutter. He's a good character guy. Giving alone his own thing. Same thing with Falaba. People have gotten behind Falaba. This kind of made him look kind of weak and stupid. Tyrese, look, either you're going to put this guy in the main event or you're not. You just can't have him beating up EC3 and then he's hanging with these guys. It doesn't make sense. Why is he doing it? Like, either main event, mid card, or low card. You just can't low card, mid card, low card, mid card, low card, low, mid, high. What is this guy? What, like, come on. And then KM, who's kind of growing on me, but still, this was like, okay, I've seen this from KM. I need more from KM. And then you have the Cult of Lee. I need Trevor Lee to channel his inner cult leader. Like, it's not enough that Caleb Conley is under his control. You got to have a couple more people, and you got to have him backstage doing stuff like reading from the book of Trevor. Like, and on this day, Trevor Lee did this or that right there. Praise be to Trevor. Like, I've been watching Waco. What's that guy's name? David Carradine? He's got to channel his inner David Carradine. Like, you got to see, like, another guy, like a woman, dressed as Trevor Lee. Like, you could have even like some plants from a congregation and Trevor Lee. Like, you got to have that in order for him to have this really, the Cult of Lee gimmick. Because it's not a cult if it's just one person with the cult leader. That's not a cult. That's just you and your homie dressing together as twins. Like, the Cult of Lee should be growing. Yeah, I'm not talking about the winner of the match. It wasn't good. It just wasn't. Then you have the Demons. Look, I love Taya Valkyrie's entrance. I don't know why. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the way she walks out. Maybe it's the whole pageantry of the thing. But I didn't really find Taya that all attractive in Lucha. Maybe it's the camera angles of Lucha or whatever. But anyway, let's talk about the match. For a women's match, I'm not even gonna say for a women's match because that's disrespectful. For a hardcore match, this was middle of the road. This maybe I was burnt out from a takeover with that all those hardcore spots, but this one they had a couple of good spots. Like obviously the power drive off the top of the rope that won the match for Rosemary. That was fucking insane. And then you had Rosemary hitting. Like, okay, so they have a ladder step in the corner, and Taya, she tries to like I guess Irish whip Rosemary into the ladder. Rosemary like reverses it and then like does like this arm twist thing, like where she like I guess like a hand hip toss or something like that. Just hip toss, like it was some kind of karate shit, like the Canadian karate shit. She like flipped her and she landed back first on the ladder. It was just like, what the fuck? But it was just a decently average match. And like I said, Rosemary ends up winning with the power driver off of the top rope onto a table and pins Taya. So this should be the end of the feud right here. I mean, it can't really go anywhere from this. It's time for Taya to have a new a new feud, and also Rosemary have a new feud. Now I don't know if it's gonna either one of them is gonna lead to a championship feud because I don't know if Su Young's gonna win the belt or Ali. That's the fun thing. I'm gonna make a prediction about it in another video, but whatever. And then you had, I think this was probably the best part of Impact. As you all know, Alberto Del Rio is gone for Impact, and he got fired for no showing events or whatever. And they incorporate this into a storyline, so they've tied up the threads very nicely. They showed the promo, the teleconference between Alberto and Aries, where Alberto throws water in Aries' face. They get into a brawl. Aries says, not Aries, but Alberto says, look, I don't care about Lucha. He leaves, gets in his SUV, leaves, and then later on the night they show that he didn't show up, and then they say that, look, Alberto's been fired, he's been released or whatever for no showing the events, and then Austin Aries, he cuts pro backstage after the Lucha versus Impact, saying that, look, I've been saying this for a while. Alberto Rio is nothing but bullshit. He talks a big game, but he doesn't back shit up. On the other hand, I talk my shit, I back it up, and I'm everyone I stand up, whatever. And then they cut to the next night after the Lucha Underground versus Impact, where at House of Hardcore, Aries says that Pentagon and Phoenix, they're A1 professionals. They showed up, gave everything they had in the ring, and even though he didn't lose, he didn't get pinned, he still wants to, raise the ante. He says it's going to be him versus Pentagon versus Phoenix for the Impact World Title at a Redemption. I'm getting those goosebumps. You got Aries, you got Pentagon, you got Phoenix, and there's a possibility. You can't see it because I don't have my hand high enough, but there's a possibility that next, I guess in June, you can have Austin Aries appear on Lucha and win the Lucha Underground belt, and then have the R-Weight television title, and just be this champion of all the companies, and then you have R-Weight guys come to Impact, Lucha Underground guys come to Impact. They already do, but whatever, and just have this continuous look. It still isn't perfect. We having all this co-mingling, but hopefully as time goes on, they can get it together. And the first step in this is Austin Aries winning all these belts, because that would give people a reason to come over. Hey, You beat me for that title, Austin Aries. I'm over here. Hey, but I want the SVD title now that you beat me, or something like that. Hey, you lost, Austin Aries, to this guy. Aries, I'm going over here to get this title, and hey, I'm at a feud over here. Now it's possibilities. Now they're finally getting into the groove of how to do this cross promotion stuff and have it still work within the hopefully it can work within the confines of Impact. So I got my fingers crossed that they can work this out. But still a average Impact. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out here. Tell me what you guys thought about it. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think Impact sucks? Because you know that's the trend on the internet. Impact sucks. That's the first comment. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.